Howdy folks, Big Anklevich here, podcaster, author, and carnivore, and it is the day after. It's over. The April Carnivore Challenge is over, and it's time to see how it went. It's time to see how things turned out after we did this. Marshall's been doing carnivore, I've been doing the lion diet, and the lion diet was a ground beef only lion diet, nothing else. I wasn't allowed to even have steak, just ground beef, and that was it. So how did that go for us? Well, this whole time I have been going first and then checking out what Marshall had to say. Well, this time around, I'm gonna let him go first. We're gonna see what Marshall had to say first, and then when he's done, I'll come back and I'll tell you how I did.
So here we are at the end of 1 month and the beginning of another. Today is the first day of May, and this is the true accounting, the true reckoning of how I've been doing this month. And Big said that he was excited to see where I was at and what I was doing. I think I'm going to disappoint him and myself. I actually ended up gaining 2.6 pounds in the last 15 days. Remember, I had lost, I think it was right at 2 pounds or close to 2 pounds in the middle of the month. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I hadn't come down as much as I'd wanted to. And, I messed up a couple times, and I've messed up a couple times since. And that's my biggest problem, I think. I also think on the last day of the month, yesterday, I ate a lot. I stayed within the carnivore diet, but I ate a lot of stuff, more than I usually do. And I think that also has something to do with it. So hopefully I can lose this weight again very quickly once I get back on the right path. And so in light of how I've performed in the month of April, which is a lot worse, I guess I've gained a little bit. I don't have the chart in front of me, but I've either only lost a little bit in the entire month, or I've gained a little bit in the entire month from where I was at the beginning of April. And so that's pretty much stagnation, right? And the way that I'm eating, doing carnivore, based on my past experience and the experience of other people, this is not where I should be. And I haven't been making any progress, it seems like, and so here's my plan for the month of May. I already messed up this morning. Well, I guess I'll talk about that on my daily report, but I did have an egg bake this morning, which had cheese in it. So I wasn't truly beef, butter, bacon, and egg this month, but that's going to stop, right? That was my first and last mistake of the month. And again, it wasn't going, having a ice cream or a cookie or eating a bunch of nachos or anything like that. But it's still not what my plan is for the month of May. But I wasn't thinking. So anyway, my plan is to do beef, butter, bacon, and egg. Go back to that. I was successful with that in March. I was successful with that a couple of years ago. And so I think that's my best course of action. I could try to do lion diet. I think that may be too much, a bridge too far at this point. Maybe not. Maybe that's what I need is a refreshing cleanse of just ground beef like Big's doing. But no, I'm gonna at least go. I'm gonna go back to beef, butter, bacon, and egg, and then I'm also going to fast at least once every week. And it'll be a longer, it won't be just 24 hours. 24 hours is kind of weird to do, I think. I think if you sleep overnight and then don't eat all that next day, and then you sleep again the second night, and then when you wake up and start your next day, then you can eat something. So I think that's what Big does. Now that's how he gets 36 hours or 40. I don't know. I can't remember how many hours he gets, but if you think about it, that's almost a 48-hour fast or whatever. So depending on when you stop eating and when you start eating, but it's just going to be over 30 hours at least once a week. I think that'll help. I was doing that before. In fact, I thought about going one meal a day for this month, but again, I think that might be a bridge too far. That might just be, but maybe that's something I need to. But here's what we're going to do: the beef, butter, bacon, egg, and I was successful with that. So that's what I'm going to do. And I am a little bit disheartened by my progress. I should be. I've messed up several times throughout the month and eaten things totally off the reservation. So now it's time to buckle down. I've said that before, so I feel like a hypocrite here on the channel. Big and I were talking about another YouTube channel where they've been doing carnivore for a long time and tend to bounce back and forth on doing well and not doing well, and after a while of watching that, it's not entertaining, it's not encouraging. It just kind of, I feel like, I don't want to watch this anymore. It's frustrating. And however, I feel like I'm giving you the same experience watching these videos. And here I am, gung-ho, go, carnivore. And then I mess up and I have to fess up to the mess up. So I feel like I'm not giving you, but I guess really I'm doing this for myself. And so I just need to continue to be accountable. I need to continue to strive to be better and improve myself. I just went for a walk, so that should be good. And here's to a better, healthy May. And I'll be talking to you every day. All right. Bye.
All right, there you go. Marshall is done with the month, and now he's got a new plan for the next month. We'll see how that goes as the days go by. So, how did it go for me? Well, today is May 1st, and so it was weigh-in day. I got up on my scale today, and what did I weigh? 217.6. Is that good or is that bad? Well, let's go back to April 1st when this whole thing started. I weighed 238.4. So 238.4 minus 217.6 means that I lost 20.8 pounds for the month. That's pretty great, I'd have to say. I'm pretty darn excited about that. That may well be the best month that I've ever had on the carnivore diet. I'm not certain. I'd have to really go back and check because I've been doing this for a long time. But I'm pretty happy with that. Check out this graph. This shows you the view of my progress. It's jagged up and down, but that's how it goes. Obviously you're going to gain some, lose some. Days you fast, you drop a lot, then you eat and you come back up some, but notice the general downward track of that. That's 20 pounds from start to finish going down. Now, I was here on the 15th giving you my halfway update. I don't know if you remember, but on April 1st, like I said, 238.4 was what I weighed in at, but April 15th, I weighed 223.6. So 238.4 minus 223.6 means that in the first half, I lost 14.8 pounds. So April 15th, I was 223.6 to today, I'm 217.6, which means in the second half, I only lost 6 pounds. Is that a bad thing? Is that a problem? I don't think so. I think generally, when you're doing this kind of thing, when you're losing weight, you have a big surge at the start. When you give your body what it needs and stop giving it what it shouldn't have, your body will be like, wow, this is great. I can do some stuff here. And it'll just dump weight fast. And a lot of that weight that comes off at the start, it sounds great. I lost 14 and a half pounds in those first 2 weeks, but most of that, you can't lose 14 pounds of fat in 2 weeks. It's just not possible. That is more energy than a person can burn, but you do flush and a lot of water weight and stuff like that, inflammation, things that you're holding on to that you shouldn't have. Your body will just dump that stuff. And I think pretty much everybody out there has probably got 15 pounds worth of water weight that they could flush at a moment's notice if they would just take care of themselves. I know it would make a big difference, your face would suddenly look thinner, it wouldn't be swollen and stuff like that. That's one thing that I've noticed recently is even skinny people, even people that are thin, that have a body like I wish I could have, they still have like a fat face, like a swollen face, because they're inflamed, because they have water weight that, they're retaining, even though they shouldn't be, because they're, poisoning their body with horrible things that they eat every day. And yeah, I stopped eating cheese on April 1st. I'd been being really bad at the end of March, and I ruined my progress that I'd been making. And then I stopped eating that cheese, and the boom, that weight just came right off. Big surge in weight loss. So that was cool. And I don't think it's a problem that, it slowed down. Now that it's slowed down, I'm getting rid of the actual fat, which is, the thing that's going to have to come off bit by bit. It's a bank of energy that your body saves, and I got to use the bank. I got to use the money in the bank. And you can only spend that money so fast. Okay, let's take it a step further, because like I was saying, we actually started this back in March. In March, we did our first carnivore challenge. Marshall challenged me to get going on this, and so we did. I decided I was going to do a lion diet, and I started, my weight in that challenge was 250.2, because yeah, before we started I was being terrible. I was gorging on cheese every day. So when I vowed to go lion diet, I lost a bunch of weight. And then I allowed myself to give in to temptation, and I gained some of that back because I was eating cheese again. It stalled my progress, and then April came, and I rededicated myself to it, and I tightened down on my lion diet, making it ground beef only, and that really worked. It really worked. It boxed out the cheese, and the cheese never got into the key to slam dunk it in my face anymore. So in the last 2 months, I've gone from 250 to 217. That's 32.6 pounds. And I'm pretty certain that that is the most successful 2 months that I've had on carnivore ever, for sure. Like, look at this graph. You can see it really falls fast, huh? Never mind that spot in the middle, because I was eating cheese again. This month made those slip-ups inconsequential. Although I have to wonder how much better it would have been if I had just been good and not eaten cheese in the middle. Doesn't matter though, doesn't matter. But forward, always forward. That's what we're doing. So my scale checks other things too, not just weight. I mean, I don't want to just lose weight. If I wanted to do that, I could just, cut my leg off, and then I weigh much less. But that's not what I'm after. I want to be more healthy. And to be more healthy, I need to lose fat. And my scale checks my fat percentage too. So in March, when this all started, I was at 40.6% fat on my body. Today, I'm at 37.6%. So that means I'm down 3%. Exactly. Here's a chart to show the fat decline. I still have a long ways to go. Apparently a man's supposed to be between 15 and 20% fat. But at least it's trending in the right direction. My scale also gives me muscle percentage. And that one is crucial. The worst thing that I could do would be to lose muscle in this process. I want to keep a close eye on that. So in March, when this started, I was at 35.7% muscle. And today I'm at 37.3% muscle. So that's up 1.6%. It's nothing amazing, but it's up, not down. And I think that is pretty important. I lost 30 pounds in that time, but my muscle percentage went up and not down. So I think that means that that's pretty good. So losing the fat and gaining the muscle, it's exactly what I want. Look at this chart now. Put the muscle and fat on the same chart, and you can see that soon my muscle is going to eclipse my fat percentage. This fat old version of me would probably never have thought that was possible. So what was it that I did this month to make sure that things went that way? Well, for starters, I ate meat. I mean, I got proper nutrition. I gave my body what it needed, and I think more importantly, nothing that it didn't. I just ate fatty meat. Ground beef that was 73% fat, 27% lean. No, the other way around, isn't it? I don't know. It was 73-27. And yeah, that is the perfect food, to tell you the truth. It's exactly where it needs to be. My body was getting what it needed for energy, getting what it needed for nutrition. It was able to build muscle. It was able to dump fat. And that was step number one. Beyond that, I did walking. I made sure to get 10,000 steps every day, both in April and even back in March. Even when I was being bad and indulging in cheese, I still did my steps. Also, twice a week, I did weightlifting in my garage. I don't have a lot of weight, but for the most part, it's enough for flabby, old, weak me for right now. I wasn't perfect with the weightlifting. I missed a whole week at the end of the month because of my daughter's graduation when I was out of town. And I think I missed another day somewhere in the middle. And when you're only doing 2 a week, you miss one day, that's half of what you're doing. But I kept myself, somewhat active, somewhat working on trying to be more healthy. And I think that it helped. I mean, that's all I did. I ate right, I walked, and I lifted a little bit of weight. I don't think the exercises had that much effect on the losing of the weight, but I think they probably did make a difference on what weight was lost. If you use your muscles, then your body's probably not likely going to want to get rid of them because it's like, oh wait, I need that. But if you just sit around and do nothing all day long, your body will be like, nah, don't need it. It's fine. I can jettison that. It's unused tissue. Your body's smart. It doesn't waste things. So you got to be smart too. It worked really well. And I have to wonder, maybe you wonder, why did it work so well? I thought about this a lot. And my guess is that for some people, and I don't think it's everybody, I think everybody's can be a little bit different. And you got to, I guess, figure out what is best for you, what kind of a person you are. But for some people, strict rules can help. And I think particularly somebody who doesn't have self-control, when you're kind of out of control, giving yourself something strict to hold on to, it's like a guardrail that will keep you from falling over the edge. You can just grab that thing and hold it. No, I can only have ground beef and that's it. Do not eat anything else. Because that helped me a lot of times. There were several times where I looked at stuff in the fridge and I went, oh, here's some turkey. I can eat turkey because it's carnivore, but it's not what I was allowed to eat. So I didn't eat turkey. Same thing with cheese. There's always cheese at my house. And a lot of times I scarf it, but this month I did not. It stuck around for for a long time. My wife could buy a thing of cheese and it would still be there when it came time to use it for the meal that she had planned it for. And the reason that was because I looked at the cheese and I had to say, nope, cheese is not allowed this month. And for the most part, I mean, really, I need to just not have it allowed any month. But for now, I can just say, no, it's not allowed. I look at cheese a lot of times and I look at cream a lot of times and I think, wow, technically it's okay. It's an animal product. I eat carnivore, which is eating animal products, so it's fine. It's fine. I can do that. But, I'm trying to lose weight. And cheese, cream, those are not good for losing weight. So, if I want to actually get rid of the fat, I got to stop doing that. And, that's what ground beef only did for me. Nothing else was allowed, so I couldn't do it. I couldn't just look at the cheese and say, technically it's fine. Because there was no technically. Technically, it is not ground beef. And that's what I'm doing. So I think I did pretty good. And now, I've kind of got my desires, my need to entertain myself with my food. I've got that under control and I can expand things outward a little bit without without so much of a problem, because narrowing things, I think, does help somebody like me who is using food for entertainment. And I think that's really the majority of people in the world. Most of us, we don't eat food because we're hungry. We eat food because we want something to entertain ourselves with. We're bored. We're looking for a dopamine hit. We've been looking at our phone all day and now it's just not doing it for us anymore. We got to have something. And what if there's this yummy thing that'll give me another zap of dopamine, But, there's only so much you can do with ground beef and salt. It pretty much tastes the same no matter how you cook it. So eating becomes just about fuel and not about entertainment. And, then it won't lead to me overeating, because having food as entertainment definitely leads to overeating. One other thing is I made it my goal this month to eat just my calorie allowance. I calculated what my total daily energy expenditure, or TDEE, was, and I ate that. And that alone, how much of a difference did that make? If you're like me and you love eating big meals, you can overeat, even on carnivore. I'm a volume eater. And even if I'm eating fatty meat, I have a tendency to be able to shovel it in before I'm like, whoa, that's too much, time to stop. Carnivore is much better at getting people to stop when it's time to stop, but you can still do it if you have coached yourself your whole life to just eat a ton, which is totally what I've been doing my whole life. I am pretty definitely a volume eater. I don't undereat, for sure. So, I was only allowed my TDEE, 2 pounds of meat it made, and that hit pretty much right on. So I would just cook myself that, and that was what I ate, and I didn't overeat, and I think it's made a big difference. I am less desperate to eat just to stuff my face with food now. 1 month of it has made a big difference. I think I will keep going and see how much more I can work on that. Because yeah, that's the last bit here of this video, is what comes next. It's time for May. What's the May Carnivore Challenge? Well, first of all, I'm planning on running an experiment for the first week of May. I'm going to downshift into beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, and I'm going to eat that for the first week. It's a little more relaxed of an eating pattern. I am going to eat my TDEE, total daily energy expenditure calories. And with beef, butter, bacon, and eggs foods, we're going to see, does the weight loss still continue? Is it the calories that I'm eating that matters, or is it the food that I'm eating that matters? Is there certain foods that will make me like gain weight, retain water, whatever, whether I'm eating the right amount of it or not? I suspect, truthfully, that basically bacon, I think, will be the thing that if I eat that, I think it will cause me to retain water. That's my guess. But I want to find out, because for one, I love bacon. I really like to eat it. And I want to know, can I eat it if I just eat a certain amount? Or does it matter? If I eat too much of it, will it get me? Will it keep me from getting where I want to go? So we're going to find out. If I don't gain weight, then I'll keep doing the beef, butter, bacon, and eggs for the rest of the month. If I do gain weight, then I'm going to drop back down into lion diet. But I'm not going to drop all the way back down just to ground beef, not this month. When I drop back down to lion diet, it's going to be beef, any kind of beef, roast, steak, ground beef, anything else, whatever I can come up with, I'll eat. I mean, I guess ruminant animals, so it could even be lamb or buffalo or something like that. Anything with a rumen, I can eat it. That will be what I do for the rest of the month if I need to. Or maybe I'll stick with beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. I don't know. I've got 3 pounds of bacon in the fridge, and I'm going to at least eat those 3 pounds. And we'll see what happens from there. I also have a whole bunch of meat that I grabbed in the middle of this month. I grabbed a bunch of meat from my boss's retirement party. There was a ton left over just sitting there, and I thought, oh my gosh, I can't eat any of it. It's not ground beef. And I was complaining about it to Marshall, and Marshall just said, why don't you take some of it home and freeze it, and you can have it when the month is over. And I thought, oh my gosh, you're right. I'm going to do that. And I grabbed it. There was so much of it. I have enough to last me for a while, so we'll see. Maybe I'll have to go more than a week on my experiment to get through all that stuff. And I suppose it's going to be a little aside of the beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, because a lot of it's turkey. But I have some turkey and some brisket, and I'm going to eat that too. And we're going to see. We're going to see how it goes. That is going to be my experiment. And we're going to find out. Does it matter? Is it calories? Is it food? What is it? That's the first week. And then the rest of the month. So that's what you can look forward to here on Big Anklevich on Health, is me doing that, Marshall doing his beef, butter, bacon, and eggs challenge that he's doing this month. That is the month of May. Let's go, baby. We're going to keep this going on. I am going to make it to Wonderland. I'm still on that trail. I'm still on a journey to Wonderland. We're going to get there and beyond. Because really, truthfully, I need to get down to 185. That's about where I should be. And I got a ways to go. I'm looking a lot better. I'm feeling a lot better, but I still got a lot of paunch that I need to get rid of. Doesn't look terrible, but I don't want it. I don't want it around. I want it to go. I want to look like that kid that I was in high school. You know what I mean? Like a healthy kid. Kid who didn't have a bunch of chub just hanging around. That's what we're going to do. So I'll see you all month long as we go through that. We'll be back every day with another report here on Big Anklevich on health.